This is Team Fortress TV with Admirable, Kaidus and John. If you've just joined us, you missed the ETF2L Season 17 powered by TT Esports Premiership Week 5 fixture between Daughter and lads Berrichonne to Châteauroux, and it was a real doozy. Two maps there, Process and Viaduct, both separated by one round. Won a golden cap. Boo. You just managed to take away, how many points was it in the end? Three?
5
Four?
points, I think.
Five?
Yeah.
How many drops did you have right there? That's the important question. I was trying to find that stat. Are you going to lose an eyebrow at LAN?
I don't think I dropped, like last season, Deserto, I dropped a lot, so costing like shit medic. And this season I bring my A game, so I'm not dropping anymore.
You hustled those guys.
Huh?
You hustled them, man. You pretended you were a bad medic, and then you were like, yeah, let's put a bet on here, suckers.
Exactly.
There was actually AO Girl were playing tonight against Phoenix, so I'd love to see somebody go and look at the logs and tell me if cost dropped. But anyway, he's miles in front. Let's talk about this game right here. We saw a very back and forth, a very intense game, both on Process and on Viaduct. Like, were you happy to play that sort of crazy style back and forth, just going in and taking on the fights? Not really, like, there wasn't a lot of subtlety to the play. It was just like, let's go in and see who can get the most frags. Maybe that's TF2 in a nutshell, but how did you feel about the game? Were you in control?
On Process, it was like a ping pong game. Like, we wiped them on mid, then they wiped us on mid. We didn't manage to like make a break and like take 2-point leads. Every time we tried to go with a strategy, like they just bombed 2 soldiers and we couldn't handle the aggression. But yeah, we couldn't like impose our game on Process. On Viaduct, I think the logs show itself. Like, Flippy had a really like strong game, and like he helped us a lot, winning the game. And I was quite confident on Viaduct because I don't think we lost ever on Viaduct in any PCW. With Flippy on sniper and like having 2 soldiers playing really aggressive, like it let Flippy and Exxon like putting the damage behind, just cleaning up what the soldiers are doing. Yeah, so overall it was a really nice game, really intense. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, there's like a lot of stylistic similarities between your two teams. You know, you've got like a really strong pocket in tech, Zebasai as well. You like to go in and take these Uber situations on by their own. You've got like strong snipers on both teams, Flippy and Walters, and even Beavern. And Demul, I've seen him snipe too. But like, what do you think the difference was in the two teams today? Like, why did you win?
I really don't know, but I would say we like got our shit together when it mattered the most. I mean, our DM was on the last, like on the golden cap and on the last round, our DM was like top notch, and I wouldn't be able to pinpoint what was the key to our victory, to be honest.
I've just got a message here from the King of Squirrels who says, tell bullies a little shit for popping Ubers like such a pussy. I can tell you as well that AO Girls managed to get a default win against Phoenix, who wanted to wildcard 5 minutes before the game. But that's not allowed by the rules. Yeah, in terms of differences, I think on Process, Kaidus felt strongly that Rib was playing a big game for Daughter. Like, he was sort of taking eggs on out of a lot of the middles, but maybe Larsa was less effective than T-Mac. In general, T-Mac seemed to be pretty strong. Just clutching at straws here. Kaidus.
From my eyes, it looked like most of the mids that Daughter won on Process came down to how Rib played them. Like, when he was able to get a fast rollout and get aggressive on the left side of his crates, you would often send at least 2, maybe 3 people onto him, and he did a really good job of kind of kiting that damage. What was Beaven coming in and cleaning him up. Can I just ask you, Bill, how did you feel about like Rib? How did your team feel about Rib on that middle? Was there some special plan to kind of adapt to how he was playing the mids, especially on the golden cap? Because what kind of clinched it for me on the golden cap was the fact that Rib did this exact same thing on the left, but this time you were able to pick him really early, whereas normally he stayed alive so long that the Daughter scouts were able to come in and clean up the aggressive players on Rib.
Well, unfortunately, we're not a team that have a plan before going to mid. We kind of adapt on what we're seeing on mid and like we act on it. I think we managed to pick Rib because he was a bit forward compared to his team, and it was like the pick that made us go more aggressive and pick the rest. Like we don't have any plan going to any game or any mid. Every time we act on the go. That's pretty much it.
Not even in the downtime before the golden cap. Did you not even talk about it then?
We talked about it. We said that we had to put more pressure on the demo, but I think T-Mac failed his rollout anyway, so we couldn't do the fast rollout to pick the demo. So we changed midway and it worked.
I also wanted to ask.
Please go.
I was going to change the subject, so if you're going to stay on the same vein of thought, go for it.
Well, I was just I was going to talk about the Uber exchanges. You know, Zebasai's just joined as well. We've got Beaver and Rib here too, but we'll keep talking to Bull. I've just like I mentioned that, you know, Tech and Zebasai sort of similar style. Were you guys like, it seemed like a lot of the Uber exchanges on Viaduct in particular, like it was Zebo and Two Nuts coming in with an early Uber, maybe the sniper threat as well. But your positioning was pretty good. Were you happy to sit back, Bull, and allow Zebo to come at you and then come in with the counter Uber for the cleanup? Was that part of your game plan? Even though you say you don't have a game plan, was that something you were expecting to see?
Yeah, because it's pretty much what we do against every team, and it works most of the time. Every time I have like advantage, I know they're gonna suicide, and I just sit back and try to juke them. That's about it. It worked.
Can't argue with that. Kaidus, sorry.
I wanted to ask about the crits that you were running on Viaduct. They never really came to much because you tended to get forced to use them. But I noticed you only seemed to be taking them when you had the point or when you were about to retake the point. I just wondered what your mindset was with those crits, because I had a discussion with my team about a week ago, and it looked like you were doing with the crits exactly what I said I didn't want to do, where you kind of stay not ultra defensive with the crits, but in kind of range where they can get to you, but not in range where you can kind of use the crits like aggressively. Like for my taste, you kind of have to either play forward with the crits and go for like an early use of the crits when they come through chokes, or stay back and let them come into the point and then crits on them. But you always seem quite content just to let them kind of force your crits and then try and use the crits to clean them up. I was wondering what your intention was with them, basically.
The thing is, we have like 2 soldiers playing gunboats, so they're always ready to force the med, and it happens a lot of times. So I just sit back with Exxon, wait for them to pop, or even like force them with the crits and fall back and repush with the advantage. I don't like it to use it like aggressive on Viaduct because I'm too exposed to Soldier's Bomb if I go too forward. I like to play the map more passive even with the crits.
Yeah, but like even if you play passive though, you still ended up getting forced or maybe even died once or twice. Like whenever you had the point and were holding, it just seemed like, you know, like if you're gonna have crits, you might as well use it to do more than clean up a suicide wave or like make something happen, or at least hide and not have to use it, like put yourself in the house or like way back. But you guys won in the end, so it was obviously enough, but maybe something to look at. We have been joined by some of the daughter guys, so I guess we'll go and talk to Zebasai. You were close there on process, you had it all the way down to a golden cap, but there was a pretty decisive middle from Berrichonne to Châteauroux that sort of saw you rolled back onto your last. Did you guys think it was all over after that middle fight, or were you still trying to contest it on Spire and hold on to last, or are you just sort of giving up and thinking about the next map?
For the middle, when we lost Rib, like I don't think it really mattered because our middles were pretty bad anyway. So perhaps if we committed with Rib, we would have lost. Like we wiped and then they win easily. I thought
you backed off.
Yeah, and I thought that was not bad for us. Obviously, it isn't good losing our demo, but it wasn't that bad. It was more like we had a good Uber exchange. We had like 5v6, but then a scout flanked when I jumped behind them and killed Rib and then also Two Nuts. And I think that's what won them the process game on the golden cap, and not that Rib died in the middle.
Was it your fault?
No, because Two Nuts called, jumped behind them, and but we didn't know the scout was there. So
Okay,
Was
it
this
Two Nuts'
was
fault.
this the Uber on 2 on the golden cap?
Yeah.
No one
yeah,
saw
yeah,
the scout.
exactly. Yeah, no one knew about the scout, and he pretty much won it.
It looked quite
That's weird.
strange from my perspective because it kind of looked like 2 Nuts went with you when you jumped behind. I mean, a lot happened since then, so my memory's a bit hazy. But it looked like when you went in and forced the multi, when you went behind, it looked like 2 Nuts kind of came with you. And by
Yeah,
that time, Larsa had already gone down. It looked like I was quite baffled by this Uber exchange. Like I'm not sure exactly what went down
I
there.
don't know, I got the call from Tunas to jump behind them, but I think when the Rip died behind, Tunas didn't have anyone else to go to, and maybe he started running towards me. I don't know. I didn't see the situation from his perspective, so. But I just got the call and jumped, and then the scout. That's what I believe. Lost us the game, the scout.
I felt like Exxon was pretty decisive on that particular moment as well, because as soon as you popped into 2, he jumped away and set up in sewers, and Larsa tried to go hunting him and got caught out by Exxon, and then exactly as the Ubers were all fading and whatnot, Exxon then bombed back in with full HP from sewers and kind of cleaned up the rest.
Yeah.
I didn't see the scout either personally. I was kind of fixated on. I was kind of just like wondering what was going on because it looked like you two were you and 2 Nuts were just like YOLOing in behind.
Well, I felt we had a better Uber exchange because we had the pick, and also I had height on their Uber, so I wanted to take that fight, and Tunas just follows me.
Yeah, for sure. I don't mean to sound like I'm calling you out.
Yeah.
It was just an interesting sequence of play. I was just trying to delve into a bit more what happened in the behind the scenes.
Well, there wasn't much to it really. We just took an Uber fight and lost it.
So right now, looking at the bigger picture of the league, like you were playing against LBC, they're a team that sort of stepped into. We were looking like the second best team behind Made in Germany until the return of Heiss. Now things are very close once again. I mean, I think Daughter only have one game left, right, against AO Girl.
Yeah, that's correct.
How confident are you that you're gonna make the playoffs? Like,
Well, I still feel it's our we can decide it because AO Girl has Germans and us, and if Germans should beat them, I think. So if we beat AO Girl, we make the playoff. So we can still decide if we like our fate. We don't need to rely on other teams. Well, we kind of do, but I think the Germans will win that game, and I'm pretty confident in that.
yeah, I'm just looking at it right now. AO Girl getting that default win from Phoenix was actually a pretty shrewd move on their part. They only have 2 games left, like you say, and I think most people are expecting Made in Germany to bounce back from that defeat to TLR, but it could be a pretty hilarious meltdown if they manage to lose to AO Girl.
Potentially, there's 5 teams that can make the playoff. I guess the Lost Resort and the Germans are done. But then the other 3, it's still up for grabs.
And in terms of the sort of timeline of your team, the trajectory here from the preseason where you guys were hyped, then you actually played some games and everybody thought you were dog shit. Here you are actually putting out big performances against contenders, genuine playoff teams. Are you happy with the progress and the sort of addition of Larsa? How's that affected things?
Well, Larsa team's better, but as we've said in the past, Knutson works better with the team. Yeah, we'll stick with Knutson when he's back. It's not a permanent switch. Lars is just here in the meantime. But about the progression, we're doing very well. We're improving compared to how we were in the start of the season, and that's what we want to do. So perhaps we'll be more ready for it next season and for LAN.
For LAN? Which LAN are you planning to attend?
Well, the I-52 LAN. That's the goal.
There's big talk about the Info Show LAN in Lithuania, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
We've got also Rib here as well, and we were singing your praises on Process, Rib. You were having some great medals there, but in the end, it seemed like T-Mac was giving you a little bit of trouble at times, but on the whole, you seem to have the upper hand on Exxon. How come that didn't turn into you winning the map?
Exxon plays so weird. He does this on Granary too. He goes bottom left, and it's annoying to play against. It's so unusual. I wasn't expecting him going sewers that often, and I got caught out.
What was your kind of intention when you played left of the crate? Because I was kind of I was really impressed by the work you were doing, especially the way you managed to survive for so long. Like it looked to me like you were kind of baiting the aggression on the left side of those crates, and then you were doing a really good job of staying alive long enough to let the scouts come and clean up on these overextenders. Kind of like you were overextending to bait them into overextending, if you know what I mean. Was that your intention, or was it just the way it played out?
Well, it wasn't planned that way, but since going right didn't work, we tried going left. So I just went left and spammed left. And since the demo was so slow, I could stay there for a bit and spam.
But it ended up getting you caught out on the most important middle on the golden cap.
Yep.
You'd sort of done the same thing a couple of rounds in a row. Bull says they didn't have a strategy to pick you there, but maybe it was just sort of fresh in the memory of Exxon and T-Mac, and they managed to hook up like sort of to the second to coming in with big damage, and you get taken out there. As Ebo said, that wasn't really the whole reason that you lost the round, but do you regret going left on middle?
I should have been able to predict Exxon coming out of sewers.
Yeah, at least a trade maybe.
Yeah.
Are you gonna sleep tonight? Will there be nightmares? You wake up in the middle of the night screaming, no!
No, well, we didn't have much practice for this. We only played yesterday this week, and then today. So it's...
Are you guys having fun?
Yeah, it's fun.
You guys
when
stay
we get
together?
to play.
Sebo says you're going to LAN. Have you got LAN aspirations?
Yeah, LAN is fun. LAN is the most fun.
What about Beavern? How did you feel about your performance today, Beavern?
His microphone isn't working, I believe.
Oh well.
Was it working during the match?
It just sounds like a radio to me.
I believe so. Not towards the end, perhaps, but for most of it.
It's a bit unfortunate.
We'll not talk to Beavern. Let's ask Bull about his next upcoming games. LBC have quite a few fixtures left to play. I know there was one that was wildcarded from week 4 against Phoenix, but then you also have Made in Germany and the Last Resort, like probably 2 of your toughest games. Bull, how you guys feeling about this? Are you going to put in a little bit extra work coming up for these fixtures?
Yeah, sure. I mean, TLR and MIG are like pretty good teams, and we are like, we pretty much knew that our season's gonna like be decided with those 2 matches. I think we are quite confident when we saw TLR won against MIG. Like, they're not unbeatable. And it kind of gave us a boost and the hope that we can win every games. So yeah.
Yeah, like it's probably an ideal situation for you that you're playing Made in Germany at the end of the season, because you've had chance to practice as well. But now that they have had a little bit of an upset, it's going to make it a very interesting game. But I'm curious, like, how have you been performing against TLR and Made in Germany in practice?
We didn't play TLR in quite a long while. The last time we played them was before the official against MIG, and we won quite easily. But they had a really rough night, so I'm not like watching into this game too much. Most of the time, it's really hard team to play against. And about MIG, it's the same. We didn't play them for quite a while as well, not that I remember, and I think we always lose against them. But like, everything can happen in an official. I think we're looking quite confident going to those matches.
What can you tell us about the new team name here? We saw you tagging up as AWS in the game, and we checked before the game to see if you'd actually changed your name in ETF2L, and it hadn't been. But now I look at it, and I'm seeing Insomniac here. Is this a new French org?
Yeah, apparently. I wasn't aware of it until tonight. Yeah, I think we got the new sponsor.
I've heard whispers from the AO girls. They're talking about heading over for Gamers Assembly LAN in France. Is that an event you're planning to attend?
Definitely. It will be even more fun if the British team can go as well. It's going to be exciting.
Now, I suggested in Mumble to cost that there should be some extension of the eyebrow bet. If you guys go to LAN in France, it should be like
I would shave his
higher
eyebrow
stakes.
myself.
I said he could go double or quits. He could put his other eyebrow on the line to win back one of your
No.
eyebrows.
I'm quite happy with like shaving his eyebrow myself. I'm winning right now, so I'm gonna be a pussy and not double bet on anything.
Okay, Kaidus, any final thoughts before we wrap things up?
No, I think you got it pretty much well covered there, mate.
Okay, well, thanks for tuning in, guys. This has been Team Fortress TV with our Admirable Kaidus and John. Thanks to John for doing the thankless task of the camera. We mentioned a few of those other games coming up. You can always check the schedule at teamfortress.tv. And there isn't anything else announced for Europe just yet, but there's always a little bit of a lull between Thursday and Sunday. And the Week 6 games will be coming up if these damn Prem teams actually choose to schedule them. You should follow Team Fortress TV on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. And the Steam community, of course. It's all Team Fortress TV, one word. You can find us there. And Kaidus, I think we should promote your stream as well. What is the URL on Twitch?
That would be twitch.tv/kaidus, and you can find me also on Twitter at kaidus stream, kaidus_. One of those two, try both. One of them will turn me up.
You're really getting behind the stream now. You're probably the biggest streamer in Europe as it stands. Are you the EU ruin?
I would like to think not so much the EU ruin. Maybe on the EU platinum.
Everybody should definitely get behind the players that choose to stream in Europe, though, because it's never been quite as big as it has been in North America. We should really try and cultivate that, but I'll not ramble on. Let's cut this show. It's been an amazing game. I really enjoyed that one. Thanks to the players for coming here for interview. We've had Beavern, he's totally mute. Zebasai.
Hello.
Oh wow, Rib and Boo. And of course, thanks to Kaidus as well. Thank you and good night.
Bye.